All right. Oh, shoot. I was not prepared for that.
My sunglasses flew off my head.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. I am excited to be here with the very first Cybertruck delivered in the state of Iowa to a non-employee. And to make it even better, this one is a Cyberbeast, and I want to show it to you. Cybertruck. Any way you look at it, it is bold, daring, and unmistakably futuristic. At least as Tesla envisions the future to be. Cybertruck isn't just a truck, it's a leap forward in automotive technology. With its stainless steel exoskeleton, 800-volt powertrain, and its drive-by-wire steering or its power sharing capabilities, the Cybertruck has flipped the script on what truck really means. In this video, we're going to cover the Cybertruck, but it isn't your typical review. There have been a ton of videos put out there about the Cybertruck, and I'm not going to bore you with rehashing what is already well known. What I am going to do in this video is I'm going to show you what it's like to experience Cybertruck directly from a Cybertruck owner. Now, I was fortunate enough to meet up with the owner of the very first non-employee delivered Cybertruck in the state of Iowa. Now, that proud owner of a Cybertruck is Matt. That's him right here. Matt was gracious enough to allow me to go on a ride along in his Cybertruck. Now, you can find Matt both on X and he has a YouTube channel called Modern Artisan, and I'll leave links in the description below so you can swing over to his sites and check that out. So with that, let's jump right in and talk with Matt while we go for a drive in his Cyberbeast. All right, get my first ride in the Cybertruck. Super cool.
It's really smooth. Like, the air ride is really awesome. I've driven on a lot of roads, and I'm in roads that I know are bad, and I'm like, this feels amazing. I look back and the tires are just doing this, you know, but we're just floating along. The ride is really impressive.
The motors have a different sound to them.
Yeah, the motors are more loud, I think, but and I don't know if that's intentional or they just didn't attempt to like dampen it because it's a truck, like, or you know, make it a little more aggressive or something. But I like it. Like, I mean, obviously the radio's not on and we're talking, so
right.
You can hear it really good. Otherwise you don't hear it as much. But
other than that, the cabin noise is really low.
Yeah, the Squircle taking me a little to get used to. I didn't think I was gonna like it. I do like the flat part on top a lot, and the reason why it works is because with the steer-by-wire, there's none of this. You know, and so like you'll see when I come to a four-way stop or whatever, like a full turn is just like that. Yeah. There's people videoing right there. Like I come to four-way stops all the time and nobody's going, and I look and they're like two people are just videoing. I'm like, all right, I'll go, I guess.
First real Cybertruck in the state of Iowa, and how much attention does this thing get?
I mean, it depends. but it's a lot either way. It's either like a mob or a couple people, but I'll be in drive-thrus and people get out of the drive-thru in front of me to like take pictures and videotape. I'm like, well, let's keep it going here. Come on, I'll park afterwards.
So we talked about it a little earlier, but I'm sure we didn't get it on camera. But tell me how you got your Cybertruck as early as you did.
Okay, so I was a very early reservation holder, like 800 or 900-ish, I believe, but because I live in Iowa, you know, and they were prioritizing deliveries geographically. So what was it, February, March? Tesla had, instead of 100 or whatever points it is in the referral program for test drives, it was 1,000 points.
Okay.
And so I saw the accelerated delivery pop up, or I saw people talking about it. I was like, oh, you know, and for the first time I was like, man, that's a lot, but if I could get 30 test drives, we can make this happen, you know? And so I'm calling everybody I know, like all over the country, because I don't have any, like, the biggest group of people, you know, my peers and friends and family, you know, they live around here and there's no Tesla store here.
Right.
So I'm calling people in other parts of the country and stuff. And so I have a daughter that lives in Minneapolis and I have a son who lives in Des Moines. And they did a lot of the heavy lifting with this. And so I think by the end of that weekend, I think it was like 37,000, you know, 37 test drives, because I went from 0 to 37.
Man, you were working.
Yeah.
So you hustled the test drives to get enough for the referrals.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, to finish that story,
yeah.
sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, all good.
So I hustled that, got the points, and then it was a waiting game. And so what I did, there's a guy, I'm sure you know him on X, Jeremy Judkins.
Yep.
He'll know right away if this thing pops up. So if he knows, then I'll know.
Yeah.
And that was exactly the way it happened. Like I saw an alert from him that he got, and I was like, you know, and like in seconds I redeemed it. But
thanks, Jeremy, for getting this man a Cybertruck.
yeah, that's right.
So, do you get a fair number of people come up to you and not even know what this thing is?
Yeah, I would say most people. If they're younger than me, you know, I'm in my late 40s. If they're younger than me, like 20s, maybe 30s, then they're like, all right, Tesla Cybertruck, let's go. This is freaking awesome. You know, I've always wanted to see one of these or whatever. But most people, like a little older, are like, what the hell is this? Like, you know, like, what is this? Tell people, I'm like, yeah, I travel with a celebrity now. I'm not the celebrity, but the truck is the celebrity.
So is there anything, I guess, how long have you owned the Cybertruck?
It'll be, so today's Saturday, it'll be 2 weeks Monday, so almost
2 weeks.
Almost
so
2 weeks.
Just getting into it.
Yeah.
So is there anything, you mentioned the steering, the steer-by-wire. Is there anything else that's like surprised you in a good way with owning this?
I think my favorite parts are the tonneau cover, the size of the bed. I work in construction, and so like I had a Rivian, and I haul 12-foot material sometimes. So if you don't have at least 6 feet to get half of that, then it makes it really tough. But I've never had a tonneau cover on a truck, and I've had tons and tons of trucks. I'm a truck guy, and I never use them because they're always a pain in the butt. And this tonneau cover, I love it. I love just having that secure, like in and out. You can just shut it it's like a trunk, you know. The frunk on it isn't that big, but I don't care because I got the vault in the back, so it's kind of a trade-off. Like the cab is just shifted forward to give you more room in the back. The steer-by-wire, I love. The steering wheel, I think the only thing I wish about the steering wheel is I wish it was the regular steering wheel on the bottom, because I was surprised how much I use my knee sometimes, you know?
Oh, sure.
So maybe they're doing me a favor and I shouldn't do that, but that's probably the only thing I miss. Otherwise, the flat part on top is great with the steer-by-wire.
So is there anything that you've noticed since you've gotten this truck that you don't particularly care for?
I'm kind of waiting to see how the stainless holds up and everything, and it is very unconventional the way that those panels just kind of terminate, you know, things don't wrap around, and it doesn't bother me at all, and but I'm just kind of waiting to see, like, it's real heavy. I guess I don't know what would happen, but the exterior is so unconventional that it's like, okay,
it's okay,
there might,
different.
Yeah, so I don't know if there's problems I might not foresee later or whatever.
We have to talk about the monster windshield wiper.
Yeah.
Work well?
I was surprised by that, because seeing videos of that, I never really saw people use it or to know how effective it was, and it actually works really good.
And I have to admit that being in the car, outside, you know, everybody complains about the size of this thing, and you do see it from the outside, but inside the car, I mean, you don't really know it's there, because it's pivoted off to the side there up above that pillar, and it just kind of blends in. And
it's quick. When it goes, it just, like, it's not raining, and for some reason when I do that, when it's not raining, it'll stay down there for a minute. Back to something that I don't like, I love the windshield and the size of the windshield, and the dash is crazy big. It's hard to probably do justice with how big that is on the camera.
It's enormous.
It's like
the size of a twin bed up there.
Yeah, it's like people are like, oh, you could have a couple cats just living up there or whatever. But just like cleaning it is like I put glass wipes on a Swiffer and I'm trying to do it. And I can't physically reach it, and so the jury's out on the best way to do that still. But it's one of those design things, like there's trade-offs, whatever the design is, you know. But
so have you gotten used to the rear view mirror?
I have. I mean, obviously it's right there when the tonneau is closed. I think it might be more of a struggle, like when my wife drives it, because I'm used to driving commercial vehicles and box trucks and things.
So you're used to not having any.
Yeah, I'm used to that you know, not necessarily in the vehicle that my daily driver, but I'm used to driving trucks like that, so it's not a big deal for me to rely on. It's not a big deal for me not even have the camera. So
this thing does have a tight turning radius, doesn't it?
yeah, it's supposed to get better with that update.
Yeah, well, that's right.
So, but yeah, I mean, you can see like hard overs.
You just barely turning the wheel. It's like,
yeah, right. So this is the part I love, just the turn like that.
Yeah, you just barely turn the wheel.
Yeah, and it's actually so with the four-wheel steering, well, and the steer-by-wire, backing up I think was harder to get used to for some reason. Like, like I would go and I back into parking spaces a lot because I'm used to driving a truck and stuff. And for first couple days having this thing, I would go to back into a space or something, and it was like I just kept overcorrecting, you know, because it was just going farther than I thought, and it was very strange after driving for 30 years to kind of have to relearn something like that.
All right. Oh shoot! I was not prepared for that.
My sunglasses flew off my head.
Holy cow! I was not prepared for that.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's probably the best way then.
Okay, that was intense. Certainly doesn't feel like a 6,000-7,000 pound truck. Oh man! Felt the wheels give a little bit.
Yeah,
on that was nice.
It's actually surprising with these giant all-terrain wheels with that aggressive tread that like you can't get them to squeak more than that. It's impressive.
So let's talk about your Rivian real quick. You've got an R1T.
Yep.
Got it before your Cybertruck here. Gonna keep both? Yes? No?
I don't think I probably. No, I don't. I'm not planning on keeping both.
Okay.
I will sell the Rivian. As much as I love the Rivian was a great truck. Like in a world without Tesla and without the Cybertruck, that'd be the one for me. There's a lot of things I love about the Rivian. It feels like a very luxurious car.
Yeah, it's very refined.
Yeah. But it doesn't drive like a Tesla. Tesla's kind of ruined me, and it just seems like other EVs, they just can't or won't or haven't for some reason kind of it doesn't have that Tesla responsiveness, you know.
Yeah. All right, well, if you're in the market for a Rivian, I'll leave Matt's credentials in the description below.
Right.
You can reach out and pick up his awesome looking R1T.
So I actually expected a little more hate on the truck, and people have been like super positive and curious about it and really like it. I mean, I've had people say too, like, yeah, that's ugly, that's not for me, and that's okay. I don't mind that. Like, I mean, from certain angles, I am like, yeah, that is a little clunky, you know, but I just love it. But what I can't stand is the people that if they don't know anything about the truck and they're like, oh, that's a toy truck, that's a blah blah. And it's like you don't even know. This is like engineering beyond what is in most vehicles.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much about just take away the look and the stainless steel, and you know, there's so much new technology that's happening inside this truck with the steer-by-wire, the 800-volt system.
Yeah.
Even the stereo system is like, you know, each speaker is connected to the Ethernet network. There's actually not a speaker wire to these speakers. It's all just communicating, and it's just this. I'm hoping all the inside technology of the Cybertruck will eventually make its way out to the rest of the fleet. So
yeah, I'm sure it will. But yeah, that's when people start asking me about it, it's like, where do I start? You know.
So there you have it. The first non-employee owned Cybertruck in the state of Iowa, and I'm super excited to start seeing more of these hit the roads over the next several months. Finally, please do me a favor and tap that like button, and if you're new to the channel, subscriptions are always welcome. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next video.